Hello everyone and welcome to Call It Crits. Just a bunch of nerds playing some D&D. I'm gonna have some fun tonight. It's been 1 week since our last session, and I think the last session, to be honest, was one of my favourites. Aside from the session before that, but it was just such a wholesome session in the last one. I don't know how we're going to be able to top the wholesomeness that was the previous session. I really don't. But yeah, hey, domesticated moss is back.
Hey.
Hello.
Our recurring visitor. It's lovely to see you.
Validation.
As you might actually see, guys, I actually have well, you guys can't see on the Discord, but on the Twitch stream, I actually have a little bar that's counting up to 30 followers. I'm trying to see if we can hit 30 followers today. That's only 9 more followers than what we have now, and it would just take for anyone that's watching to maybe give us a share, a shout out on social media or something. Drag people our way. That would be lovely. So hi Sparkly Cuckoo. It's very nice to see you here. It's very good to actually have more people in the chat. This is lovely. So just a few messages and things that I need to mention before the session today. So first of all, hey, that's it. That was going to be one of my messages. I wanted to do a shout out to Bad Wolf today, because Bad Wolf, I mean, they hold a special place in our heart. They're the people at Bad Wolf, because without them, this particular game wouldn't actually be happening. Because first of all, that's where one of the places that I started DMing and brought part of this group together. And second of all, the fact that Accalia is shaped like a wolf's head is no coincidence. It's actually modelled after the fact that Bad Wolf was where it started. So there's a homage. You might actually find that there's actually quite a few little towns and villages in Accalia which are named after some of the people that work at Bad Wolf. I just kind of tossed a few of those in there. So we do miss it at Bad Wolf, and it's a shame that we can't play at the table, considering most of us are elsewhere in the UK. But it's nice to know where your roots are. That was our first sort of little announcement-y thing today, and it's nice to know that you guys are watching tonight or listening, whichever you're doing. The second announcement was the other stream that I'm involved in, SS Adventurer, it's postponed for next week. It's not on next week, so it means the next game for that one will be on the 2nd of October. So if you want to see what happens to Doug when he opens up the door without thinking, then tune into that one. You can find SS Adventurer on Twitch at twitch.tv/SS Adventurer. It's always good to plug some extra streams as well. So Bad Wolf is a game store, Domesticated Moss. They do all sorts of nerdy memorabilia and nerdy stuff. It's amazing. You can find them on Facebook or Twitter or anything. You can have a look at what they've got and yeah. Oh, and they do fantastic events. The Nerdgasms at Bad Wolf are amazing. We love the Nerdgasms there. So, okay, let's get into the actual game and do the what happened previously. And as I did last time, I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise to you now, this guys, because I did it last week. I'm going to do it again this week. So, if do one of you want to let us know what happened in the last session? Probably one of the most wholesome sessions that we had. I absolutely loved it. Let's do a bit of a recap from the players. So who wants to go first? What did we do in the last game?
Well, everybody was far too lovely to foul, and I very much appreciate how lovely everybody was. But you guys all saved my life. I started choking on air because some cruel DM had decided to reverse the water breathing potion, and I started choking on air in the pub, and the lads all got together and worked out that what was happening, and like basically like ran to find solutions as a team. It was awesome.
It was really good. I think, yeah, I was a bit of a cruel DM. I do apologise for that. In that session,
I was just joking. I loved it.
in that session, you guys had the session prior to that, you guys had faced off against some minor aboleths, and one of which had basically diseased Sal, causing them to not be able to breathe air. The only thing was, you didn't actually realise that it was affecting you until the potion of water breathing wore off, which reversed the effects that were done to you before. So you were able to breathe underwater. You weren't able to breathe underwater while you're underwater because the potion of water breathing had been reversed. So when you went back onto air and the potion of water breathing wore off, suddenly you couldn't breathe.
Yep.
It lasted for 3 hours, and it was a fun, like almost real time, game really.
There was real like team effort that went into it. Like Raljin basically like took me to the wizard and made sure I was safe.
Grinks supplied Sal with water breathing potions so they could breathe air.
You had more of those.
And then
you guys built the Spring of Dreams' first jacuzzi, hot tub.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, to be fair, Griggs had a bit of a thing. He was wet, he stank of fish, he got sticky, he got naked, and then he ended up in a hot tub.
oh yeah, you were. Yes,
Yeah.
you had a
You
wrestling
went
match
through
with
a
an
lot.
octopus.
yeah.
So it was a good night.
It was a fun night. So let's
Had
see.
worse.
Let's see what happens in tonight's game and see if you have just as much fun tonight. Hopefully we will. That's the aim objective anyway, because it's D&D and we're here to have fun. So,
We're starting the morning after the night before.
we are, yes. So you've
Oh no.
you're all very well rested. We sort of said that at the end of the last session you spent the evening in the hot tub staring at the stars and sort of like made your way to rest at the Starlight Caravan. And morning has come. You are still at the Spring of Dreams. And one thing you notice as you sort of poke your heads out of the Starlight Caravan, which is now visible thanks to the sun coming out, you notice that people are starting to move back in. The devastation that was left behind by both the Ogremoch, which found that sort of was birthed from this pool, and the rift that opened from the elemental plane, that's all still there. The Spring of Dreams itself is still sunken quite low down. Doesn't look like it's going to be filling up quickly anytime soon, but maybe a bit of rainfall will come their way. But at least they're not flooded anymore. I guess upsides.
Could be worse.
Exactly. So you can see that people are starting to sort of move back in. For those of you that notice, the barmaid, and I've got her name written down here somewhere.
You said that last week.
I do. I definitely wrote it down this time. I'm sure I did. Definitely wrote it down.
Lemon
You
juice.
do know, Phil, there's a channel called Notable NPCs. It'd be a lot easier if you just stuck it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, did I put it? I might have put it in there actually. Did I put it in there? Did I put it in there?
Would have been.
Where's my
Oh,
iPad?
dear.
I need that.
Call it crits. Come to us for professional level D&D streaming.
Absolutely. What have I done with it? Come on, where is it? There's that and there's that. Okay, that's that. I'm sure I wrote it down. And
From now on, her name is Sally.
From now on, her name.
Oh, that's a good name.
I've got it right. Do you know what? All I have to do is go back and watch the previous stream, and this woman's probably had more names than I've had hot dinners.
Yeah, every single time. Like,
I've got it. I've got it somewhere.
actually triplets, and we thought it was the same woman the entire time, but it's triplets.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. I tell you what, tell you what. I do actually need my iPad. I've left it on charge upstairs. So talk amongst yourselves. I will be literally 60 seconds, probably less.
What could possibly go wrong as unsupervised? I mean,
Did we sleep in the oh shit,
The caravan.
in the caravan? Yeah.
Well, I assume so. So
Sal is going to have slept inside again with you guys.
yeah, the DM's looking for the name of an NPC, which he was sure that he wrote down, and apparently hasn't written down.
Yeah.
I think I would have done.
Oh, he's back.
Stop talking about it now. He's back.
You're dissing me.
and then Phil snogged me under the mistletoe.
I thought we were never going to tell anybody about that.
No, we didn't.
We promised nothing.
Oh.
Stupid me, forgetting names. I should have put it in the notable NPCs thing, shouldn't I? Did I put it in the notable NPCs?
No, you
I had
didn't.
look.
Oh no, I haven't. Right, okay. She is now called Sally. So anyway, you notice.
Wasn't written down on your iPad.
It's normally on my iPad, but I have not. I've not put it on there. It's not Leandra. It's not that. I've got some written down, but I haven't got others.
It's fine, Phil. It's fine.
Never mind. So anyway, you notice the barmaid is getting a lot of attention as she's sort of cleaning up.
Change her name again.
And you know, changed her name because why not? She's making sort of like, you know, people are sort of coming up to her and asking her about the new attraction outside the drinking hole, and it's a lot of attention has brought to the hot tub that you guys set up, and people are offering to pay to have time in it, to which she is not saying no. So she's, you as you sort of like as the morning comes, some people are actually taking to bathing in the new hot tub, and you see her son, whose name also escapes me, he's got like a full-time job of getting more water from the spring, bringing it up and pouring it in to keep to keep it topped up, and there's like a fire system they've got going on to keep it warm, which they've quite proudly taken ownership of that.
As I exit the caravan and see this happening, I just look over and go, I really, really hope they change the water in that, because we were filthy.
Oh.
And speak for yourself.
You've still got oil, octopus oil, squid ink stuff all over you.
No, I had a shower. Well, a bath.
He did actually wash before the wash. He did wash before the hot tub. I, on the other hand, did not. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, you notice that the barmaid's son is actually he's refilled it and made it a little bit better. I'm gonna take so many notes in this session. So what are you doing at the moment, guys?
Gotta go meet the town elder, don't we?
Oh, right.
So I would suggest probably don't take any cash from them.
What? No, yeah, that's
What?
Well, they'll need it to rebuild.
We'll need it to spend on things.
I mean,
sometimes you just need to do a good deed for the sake of it, so.
Yeah. What about
like Olis again?
What about payments in other ways, like potions or something like that?
Okay.
I wondered where you was going with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yes,
No, I didn't mean that, Grinks. I meant in other ways, like arming us with
go in the hot tub.
Ayla, I don't think these
potions and
people
lotions and stuff like that.
I don't think these people have a lot to spare. I mean, look around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can ask.
We could ask the wizard guy.
Yeah, that's a good call.
What's his name?
He's called Jario. I definitely remember his name. Key NPC, Jario.
Ah,
We
Well
could
done.
ask key NPC Jario.
What the hell's an NPC?
what's an NPC?
I don't know. It
Oh,
just came to me.
The Matrix.
Kayla has glitched again.
It just came to me.
Deja vu.
Okay. Well, let's at least go say we fixed your sinkhole problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so you guys exit the Starlight Caravan, or you probably eventually all exit the Starlight Caravan and gather up together and make your way through the village. I will put the map up just for people that might be watching. There we go. It's this one. So make your way through the village. I'm going to say that the Starlight Caravan itself is probably across the bridge so that it's ready for sort of exit time. So we'll put you guys over at this side. You have to sort of make your way past Jario's house and across the sort of like across the muddy path towards where the elder's house is. So if you can sort of like make your way that way. And as you sort of get there, this isn't working. There we go. As you get there, you notice, and I definitely have his name written down. Dioniso is outside. He's sort of like guarding the door at the front. Dioniso is the elven sort of like chief of the guard, I guess here, that you met prior to coming here. He notices you approaching and says, have you come to speak to the elder?
Yeah.
He has been expecting you. He was expecting you late last evening, but it appeared that you did not come. But I guess you're all very tired from what you were doing.
We had some admin to do after the initial thing.
What is this admin you speak of?
It's helping a member of the team breathe.
Yeah.
It's a curious task. Do you not know how to breathe of your own volition?
Well, apparently at one point last night I didn't.
I see. Sounds horrifying if you ask me.
Oh, it was.
Well, you may enter. Chief Batron is expecting you. So if you just enter in through through this door, you know where to go. You've been in there before. And he sort of steps aside and opens the door and allows you to enter the building. You walk in, and it's the same sort of site as you went in before, sort of like a big room. And Chief Batron is stood there waiting, sort of like he's got his back to you, and he's sort of observing a plant in the corner. He just sort of like seems to be looking at it and looking at the leaves on it. And as he turns around and sees you come in, I see. Congratulations are in order. Thank you for what you have done for our village. I know that more devastation was caused, but the ultimate inevitability has been avoided. Is there anything we can do for you in return?
Rebuild.
Well, that we are going to do. We were going to leave, but there is no need for leaving now if the threat has been eliminated. So, what becomes of you since your job here is done? You are welcome to stay as long as you like, of course, but you were talking about an ongoing mission the last time we spoke.
Yeah, well, the half-elf who wanted us to find this doohickey has joined up with some other like-minded scholars. So I don't know. What are we doing from here, guys?
Do we still need to investigate the other footsteps?
Yeah, Westera's still at risk.
Yeah,
Kind
so
of
we
need to
should
push
probably
on.
still head that way to begin with, right?
Yeah, and if there's any more of the stone giants, Ogamoth things coming this way, we don't really want them to hit this town as well. We need to nip that in the bud.
Yes.
If you are heading northwards, you'll be wanting to head over to the Iris. I forget the name. The Iris Oasis. It is it's the next village over. It is run by a friend of mine, Everard. He's a halfling, but he is hard as nails. If they have been having trouble there at the Iris Oasis, they will probably need your assistance. I can send someone ahead of you to make sure that they know that you are coming if that is the direction that you are going.
Could smooth the way, make things a little bit
Yeah,
easier.
That is a good
I-
idea.
especially since some of us look the way we do.
I'm just going to reach out and put a hand on Sal's shoulder, give it a gentle squeeze.
No, I meant the drow thing, not the other thing.
Raljin was going to voice a concern, but since everyone else seems to be on board with that idea, he decides to keep stomp about it.
1
Oh
second.
God, you mentioned things. Oh well, I guess we can do that.
He looks over at you, Rajan, and says, "You seem troubled. What is on your mind?"
Well, you said Harrion came through this way and basically tried to bully you into servitude. If he came through this way and was heading north, then he'll have hit the next village over. So, is it really a good idea to send word that we're coming if it may not be your friend who's still in charge?
Oh,
I mean, perhaps a letter of introduction could be wrote. That might solve all problems.
That's a good idea, Grinks.
yeah.
I could send one of my more trusted guards, Dioniso. He could head on first if things are not what they seem and cannot deliver a handwritten message directly to Everard. Then I could have him return or meet you en route to warn you of any danger.
Would Dioniso be safe? We don't want to put them in danger.
You sort of like suddenly hear the door creak. Dioniso kind of pops his head in and says, "I heard my name." And Chief Batron just says, "Yes, Dioniso, we are just talking about your ability and skills and in face of advertisements." And Dioniso just, you know what I mean.
Advertisements?
Yeah, advertisements.
He's an ideas man, is he? Excellent.
It says,
That one you did with the.
I can handle myself in most situations. What is it you needed me for?" Batron sort of like hands over the floor to you and just sort of says, "Well, what is it that we will need Dioniso to do?"
I mean, we really only no disrespect, but we really only need the letter. You need all hands on deck to rebuild, and we're very capable of taking care of ourselves.
Dioniso sort of pipes up and says, "If it is just simply delivering a letter, I can do this. Building I am not very good at. These hands are meant for wielding swords and firing arrows. They are not meant for building blocks. I'm much more capable of doing things for my chief."
That's the worst that could happen.
Yeah, it would be nice to have someone else. Are we? Wait, is it overnight?
How far away is this next village, by the way?
Oh, it is but a few hours' travel.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, you could join us in the yeah.
I can ride ahead of you and make sure that any letter of introduction of your arrival is delivered prior to your arrival. And then, if anything is wrong, I can always ride back and meet you on the way.
Yeah.
Tell you if anything is not quite what it seems.
Yeah. Keep your eyes out, just in case the people who came to your village got there before you.
There is almost certainly what has happened, so I will remain cautious the whole time. Considering we did see them heading that way.
How long does it take to get to the next village?
Oh, like I said, a couple of hours.
I mean,
the real danger is that they have already been there for quite some time and done what they need to do, but then if they have summoned another one of those things, wouldn't we have seen it trampling over us by now?
they may not have done that, but we've encountered some of Harrion's forces previously who were less than willing participants.
Hmm.
In what way do you mean? This is the chief
Mind
asking.
controlled almost.
Yeah, he's perverting druidic magic.
This is not the way that Melora would want her magics to be used.
Can I cast Minor Illusion and create a life-size visage of the dude we beat on the rock? And paying particular attention to that spore thing that was on his chest.
Okay, well, it wasn't a spot; it was a tattoo, specifically.
Oh, the tattoo, the glyph.
Yeah, the black glyph. Of course. So you use a minor illusion to now that's 5 by 5 feet, isn't it? So I'm assuming you're doing like a little model of this.
It's going to be as tall as I can make it and keeping it in proportion.
Okay.
And for memory, that was 17 on dice plus 3 intelligence, dirty 20.
Okay.
To get it as accurate as I can.
Okay. So, sorry, chocolate. So you managed to sort of like in front of him create this visage of, it was Rock Rider. I can't remember his first name, but Rock Rider, the druid fighter, human druid fighter that had been mind controlled. You create this visage in front of Chief Bertrand. He looks at it, and I'm assuming you're saying you're paying close attention to the glyph.
The tattoo. I'm going to be, and I'll just talk him through. This is what we believe is controlling them.
He looks forward and says, "Hard to tell from just an illusion, but it doesn't appear that anyone would have any sort of mind control tattoo applied to them willingly. So it is obviously some sort of magical glyph that is applied."
My point is, by sending more people ahead, you may be unwillingly setting up a trap for us. I don't mean you personally. I mean, if you send any riders up there and they get there before, what's to stop Harrion from taking control of them?
You're putting your own people unnecessarily at risk, I think Raljin's trying to say.
I kind of just gesture towards Grinks and nod.
So you wish to head northward on your own?
I mean, if everyone else is happy with a herald, as it were, then that's fine by me. I'm just in my concerns.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps your man could join us. Travel together.
What do you think, Dionyso? Do you fancy going on some adventures? Dionyso just kind of scratches his head, says, I don't know how long do you think I would be away for? You know, I quite like it here, so
It depends on what we find when we get there, really, doesn't it?
Hmm.
And you'd be under no obligation to stay with us.
If you would have me along, I would be honored to come along for maybe just a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe if you need a capable fighter, then I can be there by your side.
I cast a sideways glance towards Ayla to see how he reacts to that.
Now that more weaponry at our disposal, more muscle, is sensible. I think that's a good idea.
Very well. I will accompany you on this leg of your journey. What is it they called you again? The Silver Wolves?
Yeah.
I could be an honorary Silver Wolf.
Tell me, friend, what
Silver.
weapon are you familiar with?
He kind of pulls a cloak back from the sides, like a long green cloak, and you see by his side 2 very shiny scimitars by his side. He then kind of pulls them out and quickly flips them out into sort of like attack position. They're beautiful and ornate, very shiny, very sleek, very silvery, almost glimmery. Sort of like look to these scimitars. I favour the dual wield. It is nice to make. There's a lot of finesse in using 2 weapons that work in perfect harmony together.
I agree.
So
Sounds good. Sounds like a lethal killing.
I've taken down many a gnoll in my time. They plague these areas, those gnolls, but they haven't been to the Spring of Dreams for many a year. And you see back, if anyone looks over at Batran, you see him kind of roll his eyes a little, as Dionyso is kind of almost putting on a bravado. Says Batran just sort of says, "Brother, you always seem to tell that story. It has been years since the gnolls have been here. So you can probably stop telling that story now. You've had many battles since."
I send him a look as if to say, "I feel your pain, bro."
So, Dionyso says, when are we going? When do you need to be leaving? Is there anything you need in town before we go?
Have you got any potions?
Well, we have very few in the way of much at the moment, since all the destruction, and usually most of our potions are brewed via the spring. I guess we could ask Jario if if he has anything that he can use before we head on our journey.
Excellent idea.
Don't be expecting much though. Obviously, before now we're all expecting to be leaving, so might not have much. We can always try though.
Okay.
Okay, so where would you like to head, guys? So after that, sort of Chief Batran will sort of nod to all of you and sort of go back to tending the plants that he's got in his room, I guess. And you all leave out. Dionyso sort of leads you out of the door, and he kind of looks over to one of the sort of like the guards who's helping carry some logs. He sort of says, "I'll be right back. I'm just going to just go and replace my post." And he heads on over, sort of talks to this other guard briefly, who then sort of nods and sort of like gestures down to the log and says, "I'll finish this," and goes off and then is eventually replaced. Yeah, he heads with you guys to I'm guessing you're going to Jario's?
Yeah.
So you head to Jario's for a little bit. There we go. So you head to Jario's hut, where Jario is still in there. Are you knocking, or are you actually Dionyso is just going immediate sort of on the door as he's sort of taking charge. This is where he lives.
Yeah.
So he sort of goes and starts banging on the door, sort of like almost like authoritatively bangs on the door. And Jario opens the door and says, what? What is what's the banging about, Dioniso? And Dioniso sort of says, Jario, I'll let Ayla speak to you about this. He had a request for you.
Yeah, thank you, my new colleague. We are about to start a new adventure, and I was wondering if you could assist us by providing us with any potions to aid us on our journey. Anything at all that might assist us.
Oh,
Obviously, it could be dangerous.
I mean, I've given you all of my water breathing potions. I'm afraid. I believe you were using those to try and keep your friend here alive.
Thank you very much for that.
You're quite welcome. They were brewed for you anyway. As it happens, I was actually wanting to work on a thank you for you all, as you have helped me to maintain my home. I've lived here for a very, very long time, so I did not want to leave specifically. So I was working on a thank you for you. So yes, here you are. And he sort of goes brings up a basket and plonks it on the top, each containing 4 potions of greater healing.
Ooh, good.
I believe there's enough here for one each of you. Sorry, Dioniso, I wasn't aware that you were going to be accompanying our friends. Otherwise, I would have made you one as well. Dioniso just says, it's okay. I have my own potion with me, just for emergencies. You made it for me quite a while ago. I've not actually had to use it. Very well. Very well.
Thank you very much. I'll just take it out and I'll stick it into a coat pocket.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I wish I had more to give you. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit tapped at the moment. But if you make your way ever back to the spring, and on any more of your journeys, any time in the near future, I'm sure I could possibly whip something up for you. Something that will be much more use for you. But at the moment, it will take time to make anything. Is there anything in particular that you would be wanting, potions-wise? I'm quite a brewer, as you might have already seen.
Any particular magic potion that can help us when we face deadly enemies? Anything that could particularly be, useful then?
Well, there are a variety of magical potions that you can get. There are potions of healing, there are potions of strength, there are potions of water breathing, there are potions of fire resistance, or potions of resistance in general.
What may be useful is if you could come up with maybe a potion of haste.
I can do that. I could do that one with my eyes closed.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it will take time. It's not something I could just brew up now. It could take me a couple of days. That is ironic, yes. It's not something I have all of the ingredients for at the moment. It's something I can synthesize in time, though. So
I don't really think we want to be waiting, do we?
No. I mean, definitely on the way back, possibly, but
Yeah.
Shario, I've got a present for you.
You do?
I'm going to reach into my pocket and I'm going to pull out one of my 3 vials of aboleth toxin.
Ooh.
So I'm going to take that down to 2 in my inventory. I'm going to hand him it. This was taken from the beast that reversed the breathing on Sal.
He takes it, looks at it, says, where did you extract this from? Like, where specifically on the creature?
Off its body, it seemed to have a mucus of sorts on it, and Raljin expertly managed to take this off the creature. If you can maybe do something with it, that would be useful. I mean, we don't know what it does.
I mean, this is it's very interesting because aboleths I've never actually encountered before, but I'm assuming the effects within its secretion I could probably replicate. Again, it's something I would need time for. One thing I do know is just on its own, unsynthesized, it's not going to have any effect at all. However, if I were to apply the correct components, I could certainly make a toxin that could be applied to range weaponry or to the tip of a blade, which could reverse the effects of breathing.
So it's completely useless on its own, then, is it?
On its own, unfortunately, it needs that. It's not just something that's aboliths or any creatures. They don't just. It's not just there on the skin. They have to use other chemicals in their living body to activate it. So unfortunately, taking this off a dead aboleth, it's just one component. However, I feel very certain. He rolled a natural 20, by the way, on his investigation into this. I feel very certain that, given time, maybe a week or so, I could probably synthesize an anti-breathing toxin.
Well,
Just with
in
this.
that case, I'm going to take out the other two, and I'll hand it to him.
Oh, you
See
got
what
more?
You can do with those. Well, this is the lot, but if you can create something that I'm going to gesture towards Sal, could use this for to defend themselves and us, that would be very useful.
Okay. I can absolutely. I would love to experiment with this. This is wonderful. Okay. Leave it with me. Make sure you come back this way. And pick this up. Because this is as a thank you, to you for what you've done. I will get on this right away, and I will hold them for you upon your return. You can have them back, and hopefully they will come of some use to you. And if you need them at all, if you have any absolutely urgent need for them, if you have any, you're a spellcaster of sorts, aren't you, Grinks? If you ever, in fact, 1 second, and he goes off and comes back with a scroll. If I don't know if you have it already, this is a scroll of message. And if you could use this, if you wish.
Sending or message? 'Cause I've got message as a spell.
Sending. I do apologise. A scroll of sending.
Okay.
If you have time to copy this down into your spell book, you could use this permanently once you get to the correct skill level. And of course, it's a one use scroll on its own. If you urgently need, you could always send me a message, and I can somehow get this to you with haste, along with some haste as well.
Question: do you have any good quality ink? I have the paper. I don't have any ink.
Oh, I've plenty of inks. I'm constantly writing and creating new magical scrolls for myself.
So DM question then. I require enough to do a third level. It's evocation, so it's half the cost of what it would normally be. So
Okay.
I've got the paper. I don't have the ink. Normally it's 100 gold per level. Or 50 gold per level. So it would be the equivalent of 75 golds worth of ink I need.
Okay. He will happily give you all the ink that you need in that case. So he will give you 75 gold's worth of ink.
I'll reach for my coin purse. Do you want anything?
No, absolutely not. For what you've done for us, I'm quite happy to give this to you as a gift. I've got plenty. Yes, as long as you put it to good use.
Absolutely. Ooh.
Tell me, what can you advise us about what we're about to encounter? Is there any information at all you can give us?
I'm afraid I've never actually left my village. All I can say is if you're going up against the folks that came and did all of this damage, be wary. They can move through the trees with ease, and the Goliath that they were with looks like a pretty nasty customer. So I wouldn't want to get on his bad side. He looks like whoever this vicious whisper is. I don't really know, apart from the way that they spoke about him. He has a great allegiance to him. So just mind your backs if you come across this big Goliath fellow. I stayed home when he was here. Didn't want to cross him. Dionyso just says, I can back him up on that. It was he had an intimidating presence and was quite threatening. Even I was put down by him. And well, I didn't try to fight him, of course, but I wouldn't want to. Not alone anyway.
Well, I'm sure we can find people foolish enough to try and fight him.
I'm sure if I was fighting beside warriors of your caliber, I'd be willing to give it a go. After what they did to our town, our village.
You were the people I was talking about, actually. I'm not sure if I made that
Oh,
clear.
sorry, it wasn't clear. Sorry.
I'm not very good at jokes.
No, I got you, Sal. I got you.
Oh, good, thank you. I'm getting better at it.
Okay. Well, we should probably head on the road.
Yeah.
So we can probably get to the Iris Oasis come midday. So we've got plenty of light ahead of us, and we have to make sure we watch the woodland. If this vicious whisper fellow,
Please call him Harrion.
okay, if this Harrion fellow has other agents that are maybe minding these woodlands, we should probably keep our eyes open.
Hey, Grinks.
Yes.
If you need time to copy down that spell, it's gonna take us a couple of hours to get to where we're going. You think you'll be able to do that in the carriage?
Would be perfect. So you said it takes a couple of hours to get there. How long would it take in the carriage? I'm asking Zario. Not Zario, the other guy.
Oh, Dionyso.
That's the one.
To travel from here to the Iris Oasis in a carriage of your size, you'd maybe just add an extra hour onto the journey, maybe a little more.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I can get cracking now. Excuse me, everybody. I've got important business to attend to. I've got the ink and I'm completely lost in my own thoughts, and I'm just wandering towards the carriage.
Okay. Grinks, you head over to the Starlight Caravan and hop on in. I'm assuming you all head over to the Starlight Caravan and get on and say goodbye to Zario.
Just before we do,
Oh yeah.
I want to duck out briefly, without notice if I can, but I'm not too bothered if I do get caught. And head back to the Elder's hut and just say, I know you feel that you owe us, but I want to help you rebuild, and I'm going to hand over 5 platinum.
He looks stunned. Thank you. You know, you don't have to do this for us. We can just rebuild from what we have. This would, not that I'm saying no, this would actually go a very long way in gathering resources.
My parents and my faith both taught me to help those in need, and you have greater need for that than I do.
Well, in that case, thank you very much. We owe you more than just a debt. If there is anything you need on your journey going forward, you be sure to contact us, and we will be there. Silver Wolves, they call you, yes?
That's right.
Then we will be there for the Silver Wolves when the time comes. He extends a hand, grateful, and goes to shake yours.
I shake his hand and smile.
He's got a very strong, firm handshake, especially for the guy. I mean, his elf is slender, but he's got quite big arms. So when he shakes your hand, it's quite a tough handshake.
And just as I'm about to leave the hut, I stop and half turn to face him and just say, "But you never thought you'd be shaking hands with a drow." And then I just leave before he can say anything.
He just I think he knew, but it was he kind of, as you sort of go, he kind of double takes and smiles to himself as you leave. Okay, so you guys head on over. You get yourselves all packed up, all of your things, onto the Starlight Caravan. As you're walking through the town, actually, just past the drinking hole, you notice that they've started rolling out another one of the barrels, one of the empty liquor barrels, and sticking it next to the other one. And they've got the barmaid has got her son refilling that one. And filling it up to make another one, so that they're kind of opening up a bit of a hot tub business at the Spring of Dreams. So yeah, you've started something. You've started something.
Great name.
The Spring of
Tourist
Dreams.
destination.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Well,
also love, like, after all the confusion we caused Sally and her two mysterious twin sisters, that they've gotten something out of it.
yeah, absolutely. So, so all the people that are tired from working have started to take a load off in their new hot tubs. Right.
Poor Dick is going to have to wait before he gets a go in the hot tub.
Okay, so you all hop onto the Starlight Caravan. You get your affairs in order, and you your dire horses. Who's driving, by the way?
I'll drive.
Okay, Raljin, you're up on the carriage to drive and to steer your dire horses. Dioniso is going to request that he sits up front as well, with the proviso that he can actually lead the way, so he can tell you which way to go, and to also keep an eye out for things. He knows these woodlands better than anybody, so he'll be able to keep an eye on things. And you finally say goodbye to the Spring of Dreams and start heading northwards into the woodland, and following the river line. And as you sort of follow the river further north, you notice that you can see a little bit of a rush of river. There's a trickle and a bit thicker, so you notice that the river is actually starting to come downward a little bit more now, and it's actually going to eventually will refill the Spring of Dreams, and they will get back to their former glory eventually, just once that river once it breaks its banks and becomes a little bit more flowy. Good rainfall in the north will help that. And as you travel following the river line or following the riverbank northwards, we're going to go to a break, and we'll come back in about 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll see what's next for the Silver Wolves when we return at about 8:15. So it's time for TP and hopefully no K, and we will I love saying that, and we'll see all of our viewers very shortly. Thank you for watching, by the way. It's lovely to have people on board, and we'll see you soon. See you soon, domesticated moss. Hello everyone and welcome back to Call It Crits. I wonder if we've still got all of our viewers. We have 3 viewers. I don't know if any of those are you guys, but I don't know if Bad Wolf is still on the line. But you know, whatever. We're still gonna advertise. Let's get back into the game, shall we? And find out what's going to be happening next upon this journey. Domesticated Moss is still here. Excellent. I love the name as well. Domesticated Moss. I think it's a cool name. I don't know why. It's just awesome. It makes me picture like someone having a pet like rock with some green stuff on it. It's like the moss is the pet, not the rock.
Kind of pet.
Yeah. And the fact that the moss is domesticated, so it doesn't pee or poop anywhere. That's, you know, it's cool.
You're an odd duck.
I am an odd duck. That's... Right. Okay. It's an inside joke from one of it. All right. Okay. Excellent. I like it. It's cool. You are going to have to tell us that story at some point, though. Domesticated moss.
And then we'll do an entire campaign based on that story.
I will take inspiration from anywhere. Okay. So you guys are you're back on the road, essentially, following the river northwards. And if I just pull up my map, because I think I've closed it. Let's do this. There we go. So you are heading northwards on the map. So I'll pull up my world map. Obviously, you guys can't see this unless you're on the stream. But oh, this is the wrong map. Is it the wrong map? Oh no, it's not. There we go. So you've gone from the Spring of Dreams, which is the first one, which on there. What my mouse is pointing to, and you're heading sort of northwards, and you're sort of going to be crossing the river eventually, and heading to the next one over. It is 12 steps, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, the 12 steps. So yeah, you're going to be following the river and crossing over the bridge to get to the Iris Oasis, which is the next sort of lake or footstep. It's a very similar sort of like typography, so it's very similar geography in the area where it's very sort of like mountainous in a way. It's like very hilly and rocky. The river itself sort of flows through creeks and through sort of like cracks. It's not always sort of like level with you. You have a lot of sort of almost treacherous terrain to sort of go over, and the Starlight Caravan does struggle slightly, which does add a little bit onto your journey, as you sort of get to bits where you have to sort of cross creeks and crevasses or whatever, however you want to say it, where you know you all have to get out and sort of like, you know, pull it over, and you know the horses struggle slightly, but you do eventually manage to get to a point where you are within the vicinity of the next town. The terrain becomes starts to go into a dip, and you sort of like look, and you can sort of see that it's almost like, you know, when you look out and you can see the other side of a cliff, but you know, and you look down, it's all trees like below you. You can actually see the tops of trees below you, and you start following a path which sort of winds down towards the next town, or the next village. Sorry, I do apologise. I need to get the names of these right, because they're not towns, they're villages. Some of them aren't even that, they're settlements. But you begin making your way through down until you eventually get to like the forest area surrounding the Iris Oasis. And I would like everybody to roll a perception check, please.
Oh boy.
Lynx is asleep. She got a nat 1.
I got a 20.
So Lynx is fast asleep. What did you roll, ALR?
20.
20. Okay. Sal?
Sorry, I rolled top like twice in a row. So. It is a 16.
16. Grinks?
I am not rolling because I am copying a spell.
It's been well over. How long do you need?
Well, it would be 6 hours, but because it's within my school, it'd be 3. So it's probably all of the time it takes us to get there.
That is true. So no, you're not rolling. Let's have Dionysa roll. Okay.
23.
Oh, and 23 for Raljin. Raljin, Ayla, and Sal, and Dionysa. Grinks and Lynx notice nothing because one isn't paying attention and one is asleep. Dionysa sort of like almost sort of stands up in his chair. The music is very loud. Hang on. Almost sort of
radio on the caravan.
he sort of sits up from his stands up from his seated position and begins to look around and looks down at you and says, "Do you feel that?" And you feel it too. It's an uneasiness. The kind of sense that you get that so Raljin is speaking to you specifically, but you all feel this that succeeded on this above a 15. You get the sense that you're kind of stood on a stage, that you're being watched. So you kind of get that feeling that you've got 100 eyes on you. But it's not. It's not. There's also there's another thing, and I think you would get this more. Actually, Ayla and Raljin, you would sort of feel this more. There's another uneasy feeling that you can't quite put your finger on, but you get the feeling that you're being watched. But you also kind of get this that there's a somber feeling in the woodland. There's and it makes you glance out towards the trees, and as you look towards the trees, it's almost like they're looking back at you. And Raljin, it's the biggest thing will probably come from you. You can almost feel like there's a call for help coming from the trees, almost as if the branches are reaching out towards you to say, "Please help me." And you're the only one that really gets that feeling, Raljin. Dionyso just says, "There's something off about this. I can't quite put my finger on what is going on here, but do you feel it too? Do you feel that uneasiness?"
Yeah, something weird's happening.
The forest. She's in pain.
I think we should keep our wits about us. Have your weapons at ready, just in case. And he kind of places his hand on one of his swords and pulls it from his sheath. And
Are there any animals about?
give me a perception check. Are you doing this while the Starlight Caravan's still moving, or are you stopping?
No, while we're moving.
Okay. Perception.
Perception. Oh, that's not as good. Still pretty good, but not as good. 19.
19. Not as good. So
It was 4 worse.
Animals. Yeah, there's birds around. You can probably, as you're going on, you can probably sort of catch the odd squirrel out the corner of your eye.
Okay, I cast Speak with Animals on myself.
Okay, you now have the ability to speak to animals.
And thanks to thanks to Tasha's Cordon of Everything, it doesn't actually count as one of my spell slots.
Okay.
So
You still have that ring?
Yes.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
You do still have that ring.
We really need to take that back at some point. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. I then I probably call out to one of the birds because it'll be easier for them to get to us than one of the squirrels. I say, excuse me up there.
One of the birds is kind of fluttering around through one of the trees. It's a small bluebird that kind of flutters around. So it hops onto one of the branches, and as the cat's kind of moving, it kind of across the branch and kind of looks down curiously and says, "You talking to me?"
Yes,
Oh,
my friend.
Oh, and he kind of heads up, box back, and as you're kind of talking to him, obviously the Starlight Caravan's still moving, and the branch, the bird kind of like hops across, and you kind of move past, kind of flutters over to the next branch curiously. Says, "Okay, never been spoken to by a human before. Are you a human?"
Partly.
Oh,
listen,
I'm
my
partly
friend.
right.
Listen,
So
my friend.
everyone else, you can just sort of you hear whistles and. Anyway, yeah.
Listen, my friend. There's an uneasy feeling in your forest. I was wondering if you could tell me what's causing it.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it could have something to do with the people that have been here recently. They was, and he kind of, his head's twitching from side to side. Says, they were all brought into the forest recently, and then the trees just swallowed them up. They didn't look like they wanted to go willingly.
The trees.
Oh yeah,
The trees swallowed them.
every single one of these trees, just kind of like a box with a person in it. Hasn't affected the amount of worms though, and as long as my nest is okay, I'm all right. His head just kind of.
How long ago was this?
A couple of days maybe.
Okay, and these people, do you remember what they look like? What they were wearing? Were they wearing clothes like me?
Variety of different kind of human, I guess. Some with pointy ears. Some were small in stature. Some were some with some had scales and teeth. But yeah, they were dressed a little bit your friend there, and he kind of nods his head down to D&E. So, and as the caravan moves along a little bit more, and the bird just kind of flutters over to another tree branch and hits on it just a little bit ahead of you, so that he can carry on the conversation.
Oh, and do you know what made the trees snatch them up?
Oh, there was a big guy. He was telling, that he was ordering some of these other people about. They were waving their hands and their digits around, and it was almost like they were talking to the trees. And the trees were like, well, I don't speak tree. I don't actually speak human either. But they were making noises, and then the trees sort of opened up, and then they shoved the people in, and then the trees closed up. I'm assuming they're still in there.
Okay, thank you, my friend. And I reach into my satchel, I take out some bread, I rip a bit up and crush it to crumbs, and then I go, "For your trouble," and I just throw it out the car.
Okay. He kind of flutters out and catches a little bit, and then flows down to the ground and starts to peck at it. And then you see some other birds sort of fly out, and he goes, "Hey, it's mine! It's mine! It's mine! Hey, hey, hey!" And some of them start picking. And you see like a few birds and like floating down to the ground and eating some of the breadcrumbs that you threw down.
Sorry. Okay. So I think we're probably okay, but just to be on the safe side, don't get too close to the trees.
Why? What did the what did the bird tell you?
So apparently there was some people came this way, and there was a big person who seemed to talk to the trees, and then the trees swallowed up some other people and are possibly still stuck in the trees. It was a few days ago.
Then we're going to have to get them out. Stop the caravan.
I stopped the caravan and I kind of tapped the actual caravan part.
Okay. Dionyso, as soon as you stop the caravan, he jumps down and sort of goes over to inspect the trees.
Wait, my friend.
What? What would you have me wait for at this point? You told me that there were... You said that the birds said that they were inside the trees. We have to know for sure, don't we?
And how do you suppose we get them out without cutting the tree and possibly killing them in the process, if they're not already dead?
I guess you're right. I mean, it could have just been some teleportation via trees. Could that have been what the bird was talking about? He could have misunderstood.
He said the tree reached out and swallowed them up.
That could contribute to the uneasy feeling that I'm feeling right now.
But what doesn't make sense is if it's this Goliath, if these were his own people, why would he do this?
Did it sound like it was his own people?
Said there was lots of different people, some with pointy ears, some were tall, some were short, some with scales.
The Iris Oasis is...
And some of them were dressed like you.
And you notice he's the garb that he is wearing. It's sort of like his soldier, almost like guard wear. So it sounds like from that description that perhaps they've imprisoned some of the people of the Iris Oasis within the trees. Perhaps they revolted. It's not like any magic I have known before. Like I say, it could be easily mistaken for the teleports via trees. But if this uneasy feeling that I'm feeling is getting, it feels like they are watching me. That's not something I get from this area normally.
Are we still quite near the bird who told me all this?
The carriage has moved on quite a lot since then, and as you look back, he's actually the breadcrumbs are gone. And he's actually flown away.
Okay.
He will have done at this point. Will have lost interest and gone.
Well, I still have Speak with Animals cast because it lasts an hour.
It does.
Is it an hour? Hang on, I haven't used it in ages. I don't actually remember.
I can double check for you. Who's going to get there first?
Probably you, because you seem to have this weird knack of going straight to the.
I do, but I'm using an app at the moment. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I'll just call anything a squirrel, a rabbit, whatever.
Okay. You as you're sort of going, you notice there's a squirrel in the tree.
Yeah.
Rabbits are well hidden. Yeah, there's a squirrel sort of like sitting on a branch, nibbling on like a nut or a chestnut or something.
Sorry to trouble you, friend, but could you tell me if you've seen this, and then I would like to describe to the squirrel what tree stride looks like.
You're saying that a tree opened up,
Mm-hmm.
and people go through it, and then they disappear.
Inside. They step inside, and they disappear.
Oh yeah, I've seen something like that recently. There was I've seen that, and there's other things as well. Well, what you described, and something very similar to that as well. Tree opening up, only it looked dark and cavernous inside. Not like the other one. The other one looked a little bit different. Where the one that you're describing, there's like something on the other side. Whereas the one that the other one that I've seen, there's nothing on the other side. It's just dark.
I see.
It looked a little bit different to me. When I went to investigate, there was no nuts, so I lost interest. So I went away.
Okay. Well, thank you,
Okay,
my little friend.
I'm gonna get back to eating my nuts. He just goes back into his horse chestnut.
Okay. So there, there may be 2 spells that we cast.
So you're saying that?
One of them, it sounds like a spell that I've seen before, where druids walk through trees to get to another place.
That is teleport via trees, yes.
Yeah, and the squirrel said it looked similar, but it was like there was a void within the tree, a darkness. Like there was nothing on the other side.
It's not druidic magic that I'm familiar with. Sounds like something that we should watch out for, though. And if they're trapped in there, we need to get them free as fast as possible.
We should probably keep moving.
We should also keep our wits about us. If the if the villagers of the Iris Oasis have been imprisoned here, then who is at the village? Let's, as you say, keep moving. And he sort of sits back down on the carriage and sort of like nods forward. Is everyone else doing anything at this point?
I'm looking for what's going on with these trees. I might mutter a little bit of a prayer to Melora to try and guide me.
Okay.
With Melora being sort of, pro nature and things.
Absolutely. I'm going to say that as you say a prayer to Melora, you get a response.
Okay.
It's not a spoken response because Melora doesn't communicate via spoken words. It's usually through the natural, through natural formations or the wind or things like that. You notice. Are you inside the caravan when you do this, or are you outside the caravan?
Well, if I'm going to be sort of observing the trees and muttering a prayer, I'm going to do it outside because I want nature to communicate with me.
Okay, so you're sort of like hanging out the back door.
Yeah.
As you're sort of like saying your prayer to Melora, you give me a perception check.
Is this with advantage because of the sword?
I will allow it. Yeah, with advantage. Yes.
Good, because one was a 10, the other one's a 17.
17.
Yeah.
Okay. So you notice just out the back of the caravan, a small sort of like whirlwind begins to kind of tuft up some leaves, just behind you. It's a very subtle sign, but some of the leaves kind of float towards you and kind of round the back of your head, and then back out the back of the caravan and into the tree line.
Are they leading me?
That's up to you.
I think that I'm going to talk to the party. I think the leaves are trying to guide us. I think they're trying to guide us in a direction.
But is that direction helpful, or is that direction into a tree?
I don't know.
the direction that you noticed the leaves going, it sort of went into between, sort of like, into like where the thicker brush was. Far too small for the caravan to be able to fit, but into the tree line.
Okay,
If you're planning on going there, I'll follow you. But
I think I've said a prayer to Melora, who's guided me before. You may remember some time ago, Raljin, I was guided before through the wind running through my hair, and that worked out quite well. I've just said a prayer to Melora, and I believe the leaves are guiding me through this passage into the trees here. I think I want to check it out. I feel compelled to check it out.
I suppose if everyone else is okay with that.
Well, not everybody has to come along if people feel comfortable. I'm happy to go with just a few of us.
If you have received a sign from Melora, I am happy to follow your lead.
Okay. So who's coming with us too then?
I will follow you.
Okay, so 3 of us.
I'll stay with the cat if you want
Okay.
to go around.
Are you going to be focusing on your spell?
I can't stop. I'm kind of committed.
Then
You have about 10 minutes left before you've finished.
Unless you want to wait 10 minutes.
What's 10 minutes to Melora? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then just okay, we'll do that. I'm now going to speak to Melora and just say
Hold, please.
no, that would be disrespectful. I'm just going to say I will pursue your calling in 10 minutes time.
If your friend wants time to finish what he's doing, then maybe we can investigate and report back.
Yeah, I can send Nyx with you, and Raljin, just tell her to come back and get me and guide me.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Fine, but Lynx, I want you to stay with Grinks, and look after him until he's finished with his spell. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Which way did you say this gust of wind went?
I gesture in the general direction.
Okay. You follow, sort of like you and who's going, by the way? Is it Dioniso, Ayla, everyone but Grinks? Okay. So you follow where the wind took you, anywhere the wind blows. There you go. There's our episode title. It takes you sort of into the trees. You feel it once again as you sort of enter through the tree line. There's a sudden, almost like a push. Only Ayla feels it, but it's almost like a push.
I'm feeling almost like a push.
Yeah, it's like a push of wind from behind you, and the branches on the trees almost gesture opening outwards, and the leaves moving ever so slightly. But once again, only you see this, Ayla. So it's something that you're seeing, but if you told anyone else about it, they wouldn't be able to see this. It's almost like a distortion of your vision, moving the tree branches forward. You head on and you follow the sign through the brush and into the tree line. It gets quite thick, and you have to step over roots of trees and through piles of leaves and a bit muddy patches and sort of like ducking under branches, but still following this calling from Melora until you get to almost like an opening. And I would like everybody, apart from obviously Grinks, to give me a perception check, please.
Oh, boo!
Perception, yeah.
Yeah.
15.
15. Okay. 1 second. What about Sal? Is Sal there?
Yes. And
What?
that's at 22.
Oh, 22.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
hang on.
nice.
Oh, I almost forgot. We're in a forest.
You are in a
Yeah.
forest. Yes.
I almost forgot. Let me see what this does. Let me see what this does. 'Cause I always forget about it. Do I get? What do I get? What do I get? Forest. Sergeant. Oh no, it's still boo.
Still boo. Right.
I mean, I got a 50, and definitely not a natural one.
Oh, yeah, you got a natural 1.
Yeah.
You suck. So. Hang on, I'm just getting my thingy. Looking up my notes. Why do I have so many notes? Stupid notes. Is that another one? So, as what did you roll, Ayla?
15.
15 and 22 from Sal, correct?
22, yes.
22. Okay. Right. Sorry. Wasn't expecting this one, so I'm just pulling up my notes on this specific thing. Da da da. It's just
You know,
see.
guys, it's just nice to be in woodlands again.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
must be. Sorry, just finding my notes, and then I'll be all right. Okay, thank you. Right. That one. Okay. As you're wandering through, you're completely distracted, Raljin, as you're looking around and you don't notice this particular detail at all. But Alar and Sal, you two notice something just in the distance, just at the opposite side of this sort of like plain area. First of all, the first thing that catches your eye, natural formation, there's a rock in the middle of this open area. But the next thing that you notice almost immediately is movement to the side of that rock. It's almost ethereal at first, almost like it blends in to the background of the forest. But Sal, you notice it in much more detail as you rolled a higher on your perception. The outline of a wolf, and this. Pardon?
I know what this is, and I missed it.
I just said a wolf out loud.
Yeah, and so you notice this grey wolf with almost sort of like green details on there. Sort of steps to the side, looks at you all, like right in your direction, and sorry, not a grey wolf. I do apologise. Brown wolf. A brown wolf in the distance, staring at you all. You notice it now after Sal says the word wolf. It's a big wolf. This isn't it's in the distance, and perception kind of it messes with you a bit because it looks like it could just be just a standard wolf, but then you realise how far away it is, and the perception of this is a large or huge creature.
Oh boy.
It stares at you with sort of like dark brown eyes, and turns and walks towards the rock. You hear, Sal, specifically, you hear a voice. It's female, and it almost echoes through the air. and you just hear it say one word: psycho. It's the
Just
wolf.
out
The
of
wolf
character.
walks. So for clarity, the word is psycho.
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 Oh, it's actually
Psycho.
like a psycho. Okay.
Psycho. Yeah.
Okay. Do I have any knowledge of what that means?
I mean, you
Can I do
can
something
give.
like
I mean,
this?
you can give me.
Well,
You can give me. It will be straight up history check, but I'm going to tell you now the
Hey.
difficulty is exceptionally high.
yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna sort of look at Alar and say like, what does that mean?
Ayla, you didn't
Okay.
actually
Then-
hear it.
Okay.
Only Sal heard it. But you now watch as this great brown wolf disappears behind the rock. So it walks behind the grey rock and disappears. It almost looks like it should come out the other side. Like the size of the rock and the size of the wolf do not compare. So as it walks behind the rock, you think it should have come out the other side. By the time its back end goes through, its head should have come out the other side, but it doesn't. It vanishes behind the rock.
Alar is. Does Melora have like a pet wolf whose name is Saiko?
I'm going to speak to Melora. I'm going to ask Melora.
What the
Is
heck
the-
Saiko is?
Yeah, I'm going to ask her. Yeah, that very question.
What's that?
Sounds like maybe like a type of deer or something.
What psycho the wolf is?
Psycho.
Saiko.
You don't get a response at this point.
No.
Psycho.
And what would you
Can
like
we
to
follow the wolf? Can I follow the wolf?
do? You absolutely can if you like. So
Okay.
you run ahead into the clearing. It's 100 or so feet into the clearing until you get to the rock. Big grey rock, quite smooth, and there's a lot of other sort of like smaller rocks sort of dotted around the place, but this one is the only one with almost a smooth marble-like texture to it. Same colour as everything. It's almost like it's been polished and sanded and polished, and it stands out. Let's just put it that way on the environment. As you sort of run around the back to where the wolf went, you can't see any trace. In fact, as you look, even when you look on the ground, there's not even a footprint. And a wolf this big, you would have expected it to leave a footprint.
So I've heard the word now.
Mhm.
I would like to make a history check of my own.
You can make a history check.
Come on. You owe me for that nat one. Cocked. Yes. Probably not enough. I mean, under any other circumstance, it'd be great, but if it's a high check, then
It is pretty high check.
yeah. 17.
17. No, unfortunately not. It doesn't ring any bells. And you didn't see it either, so it would be,
Yeah, I'll maybe think on it somewhere later when we're not in the middle of a life and death situation.
Dionyso just kind of, like, as he's following Eli, he says, "You saw a wolf as well, yes? That
Yes,
wasn't
I
just
did.
my imagination."
I'm going to call out to the wolf.
How would you like to
Wolf.
call out to the wolf?
Come on, Wolfie.
Using my nature skills, I think.
Okay.
I'll just repeat the name to it.
Okay. You repeat the name Psycho, and there's no response. Just this big old rock that it walks behind.
I'd like to look around.
Sorry, it cut out then, Phil. What was it you said?
I said there's no response, just this big old rock that it walked behind.
Okay, I'm going to investigate the rock. I'm going to examine the rock, touch it, try and move it, try and see what this rock symbolises.
Okay, whilst you're doing that, I'd like you to give me investigation whilst you're doing that. Raljin, what did you say you're doing?
I wanted to look around it. If Ayla's been led to this area, there must be something here. So I would like to see what I can find.
Okay, what are you looking for specifically?
Well, because I don't know why we've been brought here. Just anything that might stand out.
Okay. Upon just visuals in the air without a roll, the things that you see is it's a large open plain, lots of rocks, sort of like dotted around, smaller boulders, but nothing particularly exciting about them. The bit that catches your eye most in this area is the larger rock. It's about 10 foot tall, and probably just as wide. It's not a perfect sphere, but it does have a shiny texture to it, it looks like it's been tended to and sort of polished and looked after.
Okay. I would like to make a roll anyway. So that is, because we're in a forest, I get to double my proficiency bonus.
You do.
For perception, so that is. Hang on, let me get this right. That is a 28.
28.
Yeah, I got an 18 on dice plus 8 for my proficiency plus 2 for perception.
Nice, very nice. Just alongside that, Ayla, what are you rolling?
I rolled 13 on investigation.
13 on investigation. So, I'll do what you notice, Ayla, then I'll do what extra thing you notice, Raljin. So, Ayla, as you're investigating, you're sort of like looking around at the big stone at you, sort of walking around it. It's about 10 foot by 10 foot. Nothing particularly exciting about the rock, except for the fact that it's lovely polished and everything like that. There are, it has like little bulges in it, so like dints in it. Not dints as in like it's been hit with anything, but dints as in sound like dints in and sort of like smooth dints in it, almost like a dint in in a metal object. Especially the way that it's polished, it makes it look like metal, only with a stony kind of complexion. So yes, there's about there's 7 of them exactly around this rock, and that's pretty much what you notice about the rock with the 13. Raljin, you're 28. You spend a bit of time investigating the stone and the area. You two notice these 7 dips in this big stone. And as you're looking round and investigating the area, you notice that not all of the stones and boulders around the area that you're in, not all of them are as plain and as boring as you first anticipated. There are, in fact, some shiny stones dotted around, polished in the same way that the larger rock, the larger boulder, has been polished.
I go up to one.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of size are they? Could I pick one up quite easily?
Yeah, they're about the size of a head.
Okay, so I pick one up.
You do. You bend down to pick one up, and you place your hands on either side of it, and you try to lift it. And try as you might, in fact, roll me a... In fact, no, I'm not even going to make you roll a strength. You try as hard as you can. And you can't quite... You try and you get your fingers underneath it, but something is stopping you from being able to lift this rock off the ground. There's no... It's like you just try with all your might until you get a vein popping out of your neck. And there's seems to be no way that you can lift this rock off the ground. At this point, by the way, it's been about 10 minutes, and are you sending Nix to Grinks?
Yeah, if it's been the time.
Okay,
then...
so Nix is going to fly off, and Grinks, Nix is going to sort of like hop into the caravan and says, "We're ready for you."
Okay, just put the final flourish to the my spell book, and the scroll is used. Then I presume.
You hear a voice come from Nick saying, "I'm assuming you're done. Let's
Is
get
it a
ready
voice
to go."
I remember?
It's a voice of your father.
Well, you're right. I'll just grab my bag and put my hat on and head out.
Lynx does a big stretch and goes, "Talking crow. That's weird." Not realizing A, she's a raven, and
B, she's
B,
talking.
yeah, the hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy of it all. Okay, so you're heading there. So it'll take you, it won't take you very long to get there, Grinks. So you're trying to lift up this boulder, Raljan, and you're not having any luck at all. It's not moving for you.
How many of these shiny smaller stones are there compared to the big stone?
Take time to count. 28 is quite a good number. So you know you can count them. There are 7 in total.
7 dints, 7 stones.
But we can't pick the stones up.
Maybe there's an order to them?
Could be. It
Is-
sounds like
is-
we need to solve the
is
riddle.
everyone a different size?
Say that again.
Is every stone a different size?
You have a look at them, and every stone is unique. They are all of different.
they all
They're
have
all
letters
different
on them?
shapes and different sizes. Sorry?
Are they shaped like letters?
No. Not that you can. Not
I
that
was
you can
thinking
ascertain.
maybe like the stone spelled Saiko or something.
No, they just look like
Do you
boulders.
have
Well, stones or rocks.
Do you have a picture of them, Phil?
No, I don't have a picture, unfortunately. I can just describe them because they're basically just rocks, about the size of heads, all with varying different shapes and different variations in sizes, but they're all around about the same about size. You could probably hold them in 2 hands to pick up. You could probably hold it in 1 hand. But you notice that Raljan is really struggling to pick one of them up.
Why is that?
You don't know?
Is it
Well,
have you only
Jane-
tried the one?
Raljan, are those rocks really
Oh, it's like
heavy?
No, I don't know. I just can't get it. It just won't move.
Can I give him a hand?
Okay, so you go on over, and what are you doing? You gonna try and pick up the rock?
Yeah.
Okay, so you bend down, and you place your hand either side of the rock, and you go to lift, and it comes straight off the ground. And you're holding it in your hand. In fact, you feel it barely feels heavy. In fact, you can quite easily just kind of put it into one palm.
Oh, I see. I understand.
What is it, Raljan?
What? That he obviously does his push-ups in the morning. And Dionyso is going to go over. He says, "Is it the shiny rocks we're picking up?" And he goes over and he places his hands on one of the rocks and picks it up. I don't see what was so hard about that.
No. It's you two. Your primary deity. The god that you're most close to is Melora.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's not the case for me. I think
Ah.
I think they have some. These stones have some kind of blessing on them.
Huh. So what do we do with them now that we have them?
I don't know. Let's try it again. And I'm just gonna say I'm not convinced. Let's try it again. And I'm just gonna gently toss him the rock.
Who are you going to throw the rock to?
I'm just gonna say I don't think so, Raljan. I just think you need to try harder and just gently toss Raljan the rock.
You
Yeah.
toss the rock over to Raljan. Raljan, do you instinctively go to catch it? What do you do?
I'll probably just step out the way.
Okay, so you step back and it just and kind of rolls forward along the ground.
No, you're supposed to catch it.
I think only you can pick these up. I'm not even going to try, by the way. I have a -1 strength. and
Yeah,
I
you
don't want
probably
to
wouldn't even be able to pick it
near
up
the
if it was a
likes of
standard rock.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's some pebbles here that might give me some difficulty. So I'm just going to watch you. And I think what you need to do is put these rocks in the dents in the big rock.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll give it a go.
And he will supervise.
I mean, I did just say that, but
No, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea, Thornseller. We should
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
as you go to pick up the rest of the rocks, and
I
Dionysus,
give Roger a thumbs up like I've been helping.
That's a super idea. That
Yeah.
Sal,
So-
that is a super idea.
as you
And
go
we'll
to
do it tomorrow.
Grinks is where you this is where you kind of emerge from, so that into this opening, and see them all sort of gathering around this rock that's on the ground. So this is what this is the scene that you come to. You'll see Dionysus is he's holding one of these rocks in his hand, sort of looking like, what do I do with it? Kind of confusion on his face.
Nonchalantly walk up and try and pick up the rock that had been thrown that was in front of Raljin.
Okay, you go over to pick up the rock that was just in front of Raljin. So I'm helping, and you put your hands around it and try and lift it, and you almost trip up as you do it because you think you're going to find it easy, so you kind of go over and you go to pick it up whilst moving, and as you do it, you kind of jilt forward and almost lose your balance as you cannot
lose
pick...
my balance.
You
just tumble over,
Yeah.
ass over to the hill.
You lose your balance and tumble to the floor as the rock stays still on the ground.
I hold my hand.
I
out to help
just
him.
and then look at Ayla and go, okay.
So what was that?
I gesture to Grinks on the floor, look at Ayla and say, see?
I'm going to be very confused at this. I'll take the offered hand and kind of look a bit sheepish and not quite sure what's gone on there.
I say it's some sort of holy enchantment. I think only worshippers of Melora can pick them up. I think.
Bloody tree huggers. And as I say that, I'm going to activate Detect Magic. My eyes will flash red and glow for the next 10 minutes, and I'm just going to look at the stones.
There is a very obvious divine magic coming from 7 of the stones around you. It's like a very obvious divine shine coming from the 7 stones and the big boulder in the middle of this plain.
So,
Similar corresponding shimmers. Like, does it seem that each stone has a place? As in, like, there's certain hues of colour that I can see?
It doesn't seem to correspond to anything specifically, no.
Okay.
so I'm gonna go ahead with Sal's idea, and I'm gonna start putting these little stones on the big
My
stone.
idea, yeah.
Okay, so putting the rocks into the boulder. So you take one of the rocks and you place it within one of the dints in the larger stone, the larger boulder. As you place the rock into the boulder, the 2 stone begin to meld together, and the smaller rock becomes part of the boulder, and the dint is no longer visible.
Oh,
It's all
look,
smooth.
the dint is no longer visible. Your idea is working, Sal.
Go.
Throw my hands up in agitation.
We'll look at Raljin very confused at this whole situation.
I'm just gonna say, Raljin, make yourself useful. Pass me the other rock.
I can't.
Ayla, we've been through this. See, only you, because you're so special, can pick these rocks up. Blessed of Melora that you are the one that must pick up. You are the chosen one of these rocks.
Okay,
You see Dionysus carrying 2 rocks in his hands, like, I can hold them too.
So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna pick 3 up and juggle them.
We've not hugged enough trees, clearly.
You can try.
Yeah.
Give me a performance check.
I am a
Oh dear.
performing monkey. Let's have a look. Oh,
Please.
+2 performance.
Oh.
Please
Which
drop
one?
them on your toes. Please drop them on your toes.
Right, let's have a look.
Hello.
All right, so I rolled 12 +2 is 14.
14. You pick up the rocks, and they're about the size of like a head. So you kind of get one, you throw one in the air, throw another one, and as you go to try and juggle them, they just kind of collide with each other in the air and fall down onto the ground, narrowly missing your toes.
Okay,
Oh,
so
It's
I'm not a
probably
great
not
juggler.
wise to play with the god's balls.
no,
Yeah.
good point. Good point. I'm gonna now.
It's insulting. You don't want to do that. You know,
No, I
Oh,
don't.
God.
maybe the lady god does like her balls. So
Okay, so
Um,
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place the small stones onto the big stone,
Okay. So between you and Dionyso,
like we agreed earlier.
yeah.
Who can do it?
Pardon?
How come he can do it?
He likes
Because
Melora as well.
Dionyso is a devout follower of Melora. Pardon?
Oh, of course, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just feel like he was like some sort of random, like, oh, this guy's actually secretly Thor. Like,
It's less about Eli being the chosen one and more that you know,
oh, no,
if you
I
worship
know that.
Melora.
I was saying that to Ayla.
Mm.
I don't think Ayla's the chosen one. I was saying that to Ayla to get Ayla to pick the right stuff.
My last campaign had a chosen one. It didn't work out well, so I.
No.
there you go. You've
Sal
got
doesn't actually believe in that stuff.
you've got the title, Phil. The god's balls.
The god's balls.
So basically, how we're getting on with this rock, Phil? I'll put the remaining balls on the rock.
Okay, it takes you a little time to pick up all the god's balls and place them on the rock. With Dionysos' help, you manage to do it in a few minutes. And each one, as you place on it, they all meld in and smooth out, so you can't see them anymore. As you notice whilst you're putting them on, it's not actually that random. They're at sort of like different points, but going around the boulder, in different points around the boulder, different heights, but all around different around the circumference of the boulder. Then after you place the last one in, the boulder begins to roll, and it tips over and kind of rolls over to the side, revealing beneath it what appears to be a cavern opening.
Look, everyone,
Hey, lad, shh.
a cavern opening.
Need to be stealthy. While I've still got my detect magicka, I want to cast a glance over at Dionysus while he's distracted doing something else.
Okay.
I want to be looking for any magical items that they have on them, or any magical tattoos or glyphs that would be glowing about their person.
Okay. No magical tattoos or glyphs. His swords are very magical, though.
Okay. And can I tell what school? Sorry to put you on the spot.
It's all right. I will just go to my book and have a look.
It's all right.
Hey,
He's
Sal.
got good gritted teeth.
Oh, you were right. Putting those rocks together was the way forward.
Yes.
Well done. What a great idea.
Pardon me.
Well, you know, you learn a lot of things selling thorns.
I bet you do.
Oh
Valjean,
dear.
I lean over to
I pat Ralgin on the back like I don't know. I don't know, man.
Okay,
It was
so
a good idea, Ralgin. Well done.
maybe hang on. One second, because I've got the magical item, but I just now need to look at the spell that it casts to double check what school it is. It is transmutation magic.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, so they're very, very nice swords with sort of transmutation magic attached to them.
Do they look like they could be very, very fast swords?
They look like they could be very, very fast swords.
Okay, good to know. Filing that one away for information.
Um,
Well, there's a cavern.
Yeah, so as you sort of stare into it, it's almost like it's a rocky opening, and there's a natural formation of steps, narrow steps, that sort of lead down into like a dark cavern below the ground.
I mean, I
Aha.
cast a look back towards both Grinks and Sal because although I know this isn't the Underdark, I also know that the two of them both might have some feelings about being underground.
I'm going to be a little bit hesitant.
Yeah.
Sal actually looks kind of eager to get underground.
Okay.
Like they're like, oh, like they almost look like this is something they miss.
Okay. So, are we ready?
I think we should look for
Yeah.
traps.
If you'd like to look for traps, you absolutely can.
I'm gonna
Don't
before I
think
step in there, look for traps.
Okay, give me. It would be an investigation roll.
Uh-oh. It is 7.
Doesn't appear to be trapped.
Nope. Everybody, relax. I had a thorough investigation, and there were no traps.
Perfect.
I don't see why there would be. I mean, didn't Melora lead you here? I don't think she'd deliberately lead you into a trap.
Yeah, you
Okay.
lead the way, Ayla. She seems
So I'm
to be
going-
guiding you.
So I'm going to thank Melora for guiding us here, and ask for further guidance.
You ask for further guidance. Nothing seems to be coming.
Okie dokie.
Usually,
My
when
arm
this
is-
happens, your path is usually set ahead of you.
Mm,
She does like to let you think of things for yourself as well.
okay. I'm going to stealthily proceed then.
Okay, so you step down the narrow steps. Give me a stealth check as you do so.
Now I'm usually really good at this. Right. Uh-oh. So, with +7 stealth, I get 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Not really that stealthy. So you
Well,
as
I did roll a 3.
Why are you going first?
you
I am usually really stealthy. I have a +7 in stealth.
Oh,
So you step down into down these steps, and as you go down, it's just narrow enough where your head is almost about to hit the you kind of hit the ledge. So as you're stepping down, but with stealth comes with lack of stealth also comes clumsiness. So as you're walking down, you kind of trip over a root and subsequently hit your head on the ledge and kind of fall back on your backside. As you kind of fall down the rest of the steps. You don't fall very far. It's not enough to take any damage or anything, but you kind of fall down into like a very small corridor, and ahead of you, you see through your dark vision, because it's quite dark in here. There's a limited sunlight that kind of comes through, but this area is just ahead of you is very dark. There's no sources of light in here. You see there's a doorway ahead of you. It's a perfectly circular doorway. It looks like it could have been carved out of that of a tree, and in it has in the center it has the symbol of Melora, dead center, which, as we all know, is I can describe it to you once I've pulled the thing up on my iPad. I do have it on here. it looks like.
While you're doing that, I'm going to just grab Raljin by the collar and kind of hold him back. And I'll just whisper in his ear, let's just see if there are any traps down there. The idiot might get himself killed.
So the symbol itself looks like...
I was going to go down the stairs to make sure that doesn't happen.
The symbol itself...
Brother you're talking about.
Sorry?
It's my brother you're talking about.
Thank you.
The symbol itself, it's a reef, sort of like a corn reef, very, very, very similar to the tattoo that you've seen on the Dryads and the Koreds and on Rock Rider. However, the biggest difference is this reef has sort of like a cherry blossom, sort of like, not cherry blossom, what's it, like a berry reed sort of going around it, like a berry vine going around it as well. And up the middle, instead of a hoe or a scythe, it's got a staff with a curved hook on at the top, so a crook, like a shepherd's crook around the top. A wooden shepherd's crook. That's the kind of symbol. So it kind of means, from what you get from this is Herian's Gaia Moran symbol, or the Gaia Moran symbol, which has a very similar aesthetic. However, it's got a hoe or a scythe. This one's got it's less threatening. If you get what I mean, it looks more like a shepherd's crook, it's almost like a shepherd rather than a gardener, I guess. So that's the kind of that's the symbol that's ahead of you. I'll put it in the.
So it's like a bastardization of a holy symbol.
Yeah, that's what the Gaia Moran have done. This one is Melora's. This one is Melora's symbol. So this is the reef with the cherries around it and the actual shepherd's crook on the front of this door.
I would recognise that.
You would recognise this. Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm going to tell everybody what it is.
Okay.
So, what do we do down here?
So you all eventually get down. It's a little bit cramped, and Dionyso is going to go down there. He's kind of got a look of awe on his face. Says, I've explored all of these woods around this area, and to be honest, now that I'm recalling this particular area that we're in, I've never been here before, which is an unlikely occurrence. So, to say that I'm dumbfounded is it's just an understatement.
I was speaking to Melora, and we were brought here under her guidance.
You speak to her?
I talked to Melora. My armor often guides me. The wind in my hair guides me. The leaves brought us here.
Huh.
I know it sounds crazy. But that is what happened. I muttered a prayer to Melora, and the leaves moved.
It feels that you have gained divine favor with her. You must be worthy. Although I was, did you see me up there? I was able to move those stones where,
yes.
where Raljin was unable. Maybe she is happy with my faith too.
Yes, I noticed that you were able to lift the stones, as was I, which means that obviously we are permitted by Melora to move them. So that is hopefully a good sign. Shall you and I try and proceed?
Indeed we shall. But how do we proceed? Upon investigation of this doorway, I cannot see any form of a doorknob or way to open it.
Right, let me have a look. I'll investigate. So I'm going to mutter to Melora whilst investigating.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
My previous rolls have been garbage lately. Absolute garbage. So let's see what I can pull up this time. Oh, you are absolutely joking. It's a 1.
A 1.
I've rolled a 3 and then I've rolled a 1. Oh.
So this is just like Vox Machina and their problem with doors. You look at the door and you kind of circling around it. You place your hands on it and kind of tap it in investigation, and then just turn around to the rest of the group and like, now this door's never going to open.
Oh, my lady.
Sorry, everyone.
Let me take a look.
I've been rolling like a fool.
Okay, you go to take a look. Give me an investigation roll.
Investigation. I don't have proficiency, so that sucks. 14.
14. It's difficult. It's definitely a door. It's not a wall. It's not a wall that Aylar would have you believe. There's definitely a way to open it, but it's really difficult to ascertain how. There aren't any like handles. There doesn't appear to be any way of opening like your conventional door.
I'm gonna ask Melora to open the door.
You ask Melora to open the door.
Wow.
It,
Asking a goddess to be your doorman, that's...
No, that's not what I mean. I don't mean it in a condescending way. I ask her for her help, her blessing for us to open the door.
okay.
I'm not demanding it open, Relgin.
It still
I'm
does.
not Aladdin.
It still doesn't open. For those of you interested, by the way, I've just put the symbol of Melora on the Twitch stream, just so anyone who wants to see it can. It doesn't appear to be. Yeah.
Sal, do you want to have a crack at the door, or do you want me to see if there's anything? I'm
Yeah,
going to just
sure.
put my fingers.
Or do I just try and like pick the lock or something?
Okay. You go to pick the lock and quickly realise that there isn't a lock to pick.
No, but can I do some sort of observational investigation or something?
Right.
I will certainly allow it. Give me an investigation check on this door.
Alrighty. Oh, that is a 21.
Nice.
Yay!
I'm picturing you all sort of like in this small little like corridor and like, excuse me, let me have a look. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
pushing-
I was just leaning against the wall watching Aylar struggle and
you walk forward. You walk forward, Sal, and you look at the door. The only real proper detail on this door is the centre of the door, where the crook is in the centre of the reef, and you notice the fine detail on the crook in the centre, and it's carved in, so it's got sort of almost like a three-dimensional look to it, like the crook is like it's carved so it looks embedded in the centre of the door, but as you kind of place your fingers on it, it rolls slightly in the centre.
Sal, what have you found out?
You place your hands on it and you roll it further, and the top of the crook turns and then locks in place, so that as you look at it, the hook of the crook is now sticking outwards like a handle.
What was that noise, Sal? What happened?
I turn the handle.
Okay, so it's less of turning. You kind of place your hand on the handle, okay, and you pull the door. And as you do so, the door...
It was a pull and not a push. Guys.
Yeah, it's a pull. So you pull the door and it begins to open outwards. You also kind of scoot to the side as the door opens outwards and eventually kind of sits nicely in the side.
Myself against the wall just in case there's traps.
Sorry?
I would like to flatten myself against the wall just in case there's traps.
Okay, you flatten yourself against...
Sal,
if Laura's on the other side of the door, it'll look like Aylar opened the door because this is his special place.
Okay.
and as Sal does that, I'm going to just touch myself on the chest and cast Mage Armor because
I'm glad you said on the chest.
Sal
Really am.
has seen something that's freaked them out, so I'm like, nope, mage armor.
Yeah, we're just gonna out paranoia each other until we both just like
Oh, you
keel
just-
over.
I mean,
did
the
standard.
first time the first time you guys met, you did try and hide from each other behind the same tree.
Yeah, it's a
Look,
good
I
point.
didn't say I was smart. I'm paranoid. Not everyone's out to get me, but if I worry about everyone getting me, then the people who are trying to get me won't get me.
There's logic in
Not
that.
that anyone's
There's-
trying to get me.
Yeah, there's logic.
Drows will drow.
Okay.
Aylar's loving this
Probably
place.
not.
I absolutely love this place. This is like really exciting for me.
Well, one thing you'll notice about
It was
this.
a very exciting door puzzle.
Yes.
I like it. I like a good entrance. So you walk. Are you entering?
Shall
Sure.
I stealthily enter? Because it worked really well last time. I'm going to stealthily enter.
Wait,
Stealthily enter.
Why don't we let the road go first?
Well, I mean, I'm torn between going in stealthily and the person who's meant to be here going in first.
Yeah, I don't. I'll go in first because I am a follower of Melora. So
Yeah, I worry that I'll go in there and, I don't know, catch on fire or something,
and I,
but not
you know,
Melora enough.
I have got a stealth of +7. I just rolled really badly last 3 times I've rolled.
Wait,
Yeah.
Your stealth is +7?
Yeah, that's why I got a 10 with a +7. So I rolled a 3.
Wow. Oh, I see.
I am quite stealthy normally.
Well, let's see how stealthy you are this time.
I cursed
Yeah,
the roll
let's
last time
go.
by going, I'm really good at this.
Hmm.
Right, so I'm really good at this.
Why would you do that
Hey!
again?
Okay.
Guess what?
What?
20, natural 20, 27.
Yeah,
Whoa.
nice, very nice. So you all notice
Learning.
as Aylar,
I've gone from 1 to 20.
you all see Aylar walk forward into the slightly darkened hallway. And Aylar, as you're walking in, as stealthy as you can, very not really making any noise. You enter what appears to be like an open hall, and within this hall there are there's actually lit braziers. Can't speak today. Lit braziers and lanterns on the wall, burning with fire. Which is strange because there doesn't appear to be any other way in here. So there's fires lit, and you look around the room, and there are 6 coffins in the room, each one covered in piles of gold, silver, jewels, diamonds, necklaces. Each one covered in just tons of treasure. And as you walk forward, there's another doorway you can see in the distance, leading sort of like further into another corridor, which sort of bends around a corner that you can't quite see at this point. So, what would you like to do?
I'd like to talk to my colleagues because somebody once told Aylar that if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So, could I ask Grinks to detect magic?
Okay.
I'll
So-
cast Detect Magic,
Mhm.
and just bear in mind I've got True Drow Dark Vision, so
Yes.
I don't know if that impacts anything.
You all have dark vision. It's one of the banes of my existence because it means I can't put you in dark places. So you all have dark vision, so you can all see.
Drow can see further though.
Yeah, Drow can see further. You can see the same sight that Aylar can see. So you're in a room, and there's fire braziers on the wall, and sort of like lanterns on top of stands in there, lighting up the room. So it's not dark by any means. and the light from the fire is glinting off piles of gold, which are sort of like piled around and on top of these 6 coffins in this room.
Phil, you mentioned something about an exit or another
Yeah,
corner or something.
there's another doorway directly ahead. Excuse me, directly north of you, or directly ahead of you.
Is it open or closed?
Yeah, it's an open corridor.
Just gonna say to Ayla and to Sal in particular, we seem to be in somewhat of a temple of Melora, and it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to say that these would be guardians of Melora or her chosen, or very, very
Yeah.
important people.
Yeah.
You really want to piss off the goddess of this temple by stealing from
No.
them.
No, that's
I
not
am
what
not-
I've said. I don't want to touch. I don't want to touch the gold or the jewels. I think it'd be a terrible idea. I think if it looks too good to be true,
I'd like to do a religion
it
check,
probably
Phil.
is. And I don't want to upset my spiritual god.
Okay. Religion check. Give me one. What are you looking for specifically?
Now, I don't expect to know anything about this particular cave.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would like to think back to my studies about Melora, if she had any guardians or if she had any fabled heroes, and what the story about them was.
Right, Phil.
Okay.
I'd like to take.
What's that?
I'd like to take out my book on Melora that I borrowed from the library
Okay.
and see if there's anything useful in there about this.
Okay. Well, while you're looking in that, Raljin, give me a religion
Right.
check.
Well, I don't have religion as a thing, so it's a straight 19.
Okay. I mean, as far as Melora goes, Melora is most popular as the obviously the deity of the druids and the tribes. There is one story that starts to come to mind, I guess, with all of this, and it's one story that's become known as the legendary wolves. And I think it's one story that you've that I guess resonated a little bit more. It's because it's actually part of, it was always rumored that that's part of why the wandering wolves became known for got their name. The legendary wolves were supposed spiritual wolves that wander certain areas of the wildlands of Accalia and offer guidance or threat to anyone that is either in favour of Melora or against her. These particular wolves don't come out. They're not. They're not there as they're not there. Right, they're rare. It's a rare sight, and there's they've only ever been seen either through great tragedy or great triumph.
What do I know about this, Phil? Because I've read the pretty much.
Okay, I'll let you give a
entire book that I
religion.
borrowed from the library,
I'll let
I
you
think.
read a religion check as well.
Do I have advantage because I've recently been reading up on this?
Difficulty's lower.
Okay. Right. So I've got a 15. Hang on, let me just check my thing on religion. I don't think I've got anything on there. Let me just check. +1, so 16.
Okay. A very similar thing with you. When you've read your sort of like books on Melora, it's not something there isn't like a chapter on it. It's not something like the legendary wolves. It's not that kind of thing. It's more through hearsay, and things like that. But it is briefly mentioned in one of the books, and you do manage to find the page that these are that mentioned, and it's not actually it's not actually part of the book. It's actually been written in by someone. It's like when someone borrowed the book and they've been making notes on things. You see sort of like a handwritten like thing in the margin writing Legendary Wolves, and on the page that's on, it's talking about 5 tombs. And they're called the Secret Tombs. And the specific burial places of the 5 druidic leaders that came across from another continent onto Accalia thousands of years ago, and ended the Age of Serpents and started the Age of the Wolf.
Wow.
And so it was said that these druids came across as part of barbarian roaming tribes as well, that came across to this continent and basically ended the Age of Serpents and quelled the Yarn T, who you've had dealings with before, stopped, and basically became the colonizers, I guess, of Accalia from that time. So took over from the Serpents, and the Age of Wolves began. These druidic leaders have tombs across Accalia, and all you know is there's a scribble in the bottom corner of this page with a question mark. Just says Legendary Wolves ?
We have found the resting place of the legendary wolves, the druids that came here. Wow, that's really something. Melora must have wanted us to come here. Can I investigate the actual coffins and the jewels? I don't want to touch them.
Okay.
I'm not going to touch them. I just want to investigate, look at, see what I can find out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Is anyone else doing anything as well?
Got Detect Magic up, so are there any magical items that I can see within... I'm not interested in the gold or anything like that. I'm specifically looking at magical items or magical glyphs or wards.
Okay. When you do detect magic, you do notice that each of the coffins are giving off a magical aura. There's something about the coffins, and you do notice quite a few little blips around. It would take me forever to go through and find all the different skulls and stuff, but you get sort of an array of colour from different piles from all the different piles of gold.
Right. I want to stress really clearly. I have no intention of taking any of this stuff. I just want to look at the coffins and what's there. So I want to do it in a respectful way, so no touching. And I want to just, whilst I'm doing it, I'm talking to Melora and offering, and in a sort of praying way. I'm offering worship to Melora as I do it.
Okay. So what is it you're looking for specifically?
Any writing on the coffin, any like inscription, any information at all.
Okay. As you investigate the coffins,
anything that's unusual about the coffin, anything that.
As you investigate the coffins, there are names written on them in Old Elvish scripture, very old Elvish scripture. In fact, no, it's not even Old Elvish scripture. It's Old Common scripture. I do apologise. So it's in a language that's very difficult to read. I mean, you can read the names, but the rest of the writing on it, you can't decipher. The names, or what appear to be names, on the first one that you look at, Atalio, Ataleo. The next one, Prospero. Prospero.
Yeah.
The next one, Dematrio.
Yeah.
The next one, Danio.
Yeah.
2 more. Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And finally, if I can find it, Orfeo.
Quick question. In the
These
time that... Go on.
Go on,
Sorry.
Grinks, what are you saying?
I was just going to say, in the time that I've been caught back up with the group, has Sal or Ralgin or anyone mentioned that name? The one from the wolf?
No, don't think anyone has actually.
I know. Oh, this Saiko. I have mentioned it.
Okay, Saiko.
Does that ring any bells for me? Just, I'm thinking more, not necessarily in druidic schools or anything like that, but anything magic law related, something that I may have come across.
I'm going to say definitely not immediately, but you'd have to do a history check to see, and it's high difficulty.
Would
So-
it be history or would it be arcana, because it's kind of magical related, it's related to my studies?
If you're going to do it related to your studies, I'll allow you to use Arcana if you wish.
Okay, so not great, it's 14 on dice, but I do have a +6, that's 20 plus 3, so 23.
Okay. The name doesn't come up, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, Phil, as
Most of your studies in magic and things have been done through Undercommon, so like in the Underdark, and this isn't something that that comes up. In fact, Melora is the teachings of Melora are not practiced in the Underdark at all. Specifically, the Pantheon and the deities are part of the Dark Celadrine, and Melora is part of the Celadrine. So it's nothing that comes up at all. This is surface religion.
So, Phil, I'm reading the names out. As I'm investigating, I'm reading the names out so my fellow colleagues would have heard them. Do I recognise these names at all from my readings?
Nope. Nope, they're just
Okay.
names on a coffin.
Can any of us do a check to see if we recognise them if he's reading them out?
Okay.
I can't imagine that I will.
No, in fact, I'm gonna say don't even bother rolling because
Oh, well,
with this, because I only really.
It worked out. I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1, so my dice knew not
Yeah, yeah.
to bother.
I'm not going to make you roll on occasions where I
Anyway,
know
well,
you're not going to get it, because it would just be a waste of a
Yeah.
roll, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? And you don't want to
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
natural 20 on something like that and me say, still no. So yeah, the names on the coffins. One thing that you might ascertain from it, I'm talking to Alar specifically here, is they all seem like family names.
Yeah.
It appears that there's a family connection here.
Well, yeah, they all end in O.
That's probably the biggest thing you can get from that.
And they might sort of, I don't know, because definitely sound like they're all similar names, don't they? I mean, like, in our culture, almost sounds part sort of Mediterranean, sort of Italian sort of thing. But in this sort of, in Accalia, I don't know, are they particular sort of, are they in a particular family and a particular field of learning? I don't know. Oh, I don't want to touch any of that. Can I have a look at the door then? I'll have a look at the door, the other doorway, see what's through
Okay.
there.
There's a doorway. There's no door in it. It's just an open corridor. It leads on about 30 feet down until it hits a wall, and you can see that there's a turn off both right and left.
No information on the walls.
No.
Um,
Plain walls.
Quick
Nothing to
thing
nothing of note to see.
before, Erlas shoots off down that way, I want to kind of try and stop him, and I want to look at the floor in particular.
Okay.
Are there any dust markings? What's the floor like? Is it kind of cobbled stone? Is it just dirt?
It's a cobbled stone floor. And
Dusty?
yeah, quite dusty. Doesn't look like
Any-
anyone's been here for a
Oh.
while.
No footprints or anything like that?
No,
Anything that's been disturbed?
not that not from what you can see on just standard glance. But you can give me an investigation or perception check, depending on how thorough you're being here.
I think we should be very thorough. What do you think,
Uh,
Brink?
I'm just going to say something doesn't feel right. I'm going to start looking around and do a typical city dweller thing of making a big deal of looking but not finding very much. And I'm really, really hoping Raljin's going to take pity on me here, or Sal, who can track or is a little bit more observant than me, because I'm making a right hash of this.
Do you
I
want me
got
to
two.
help you?
I got 2.
2.
Oh,
Okay. I know we're all worried about upsetting the graves, but do we maybe think she may have these might have been why she's led us down here?
yeah.
He wants us to take all the stuff.
No,
I don't-
I'll pick
not
some
the
of it up.
treasure, not the treasure, but I don't
I'll
know.
put this stuff down.
The
I-
coffins look warded. I wouldn't poke them.
I agree with Raljin. There's a reason the wolf and the leaves and nature itself summoned us here. There is a reason, and I think it's up to us to work out what that reason is. I'm still
Oh,
muttering
but
to
we're all-
Melara.
Okay,
I just
I'll-
imagine
Might be an
every now and then that
investigation
you just hear Ayla sort of say something, then go, "Great Melora, please guide me."
Yeah.
I'll
Uh,
just do like an investigation check, like around like the walls and like the piles
Yeah.
of gold to see if there's any hidden doors or
Yeah.
hidden devices.
Okay, so you're looking around what, like the walls specifically? Where is it you're looking? Sorry, Sal.
Well, both around the walls and around like the piles of gold and the just basically any sort of seams or like corners or like any place that there could be a hidden door.
Okay.
And I'll be
Can
honest,
I?
probably won't get anything because I didn't roll brilliantly.
Oh, what did you roll?
Can I assist Sal so she can roll with advantage?
They,
Oh,
So they can-
Sorry.
but yeah, go on. You can roll with advantage.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's much better. That's a natural 20.
Oh.
So that makes it a 25, and the other roll was an 11. So
Okay.
Teamwork.
Very
Right,
nice.
Teamwork.
high five.
High five.
That's teamwork, Carl.
Oh.
So you do your investigation. It takes you a while as you're looking around, specifically looking around the coffins and the gold.
So
And,
tempted to pick up some gold while I'm looking under the gold.
okay,
Okay.
you taking a handful or?
No, I'm putting it back. I'm just moving it so I can. see if
Okay,
there's any
you move around. One thing you do notice is the coffins themselves. There's no secret doorways, unfortunately. So there's no passageways within here. It seems to be a self-contained room. The only exits are ahead of you and behind you for where you came. But one thing you do notice is underneath the coffins, they're slightly off the ground, and you see that there's kind of like a gap that goes down below. And it looks as if there is some sort of trap mechanism or something with each coffin.
Is it under every single one, or
It's under
because
all.
I just thought of something.
Go
You
on.
said there were 5. There were 5 tombs, but there's 6 tombs in here.
There are 6 tombs. There are 6 coffins in here. Yes.
Yeah.
But there are only 5 people.
There are only
No.
five druidic
There were
leaders
5 druidic people.
or
but
5
there are
legendary wolves.
No, I've got 6 here. Accalia.
No,
Prospero.
these are the names on the coffins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the names on the
6.
coffins.
But
Okay.
your book and
So one of these coffins does not contain a druid. It's like a
Ah.
really terrible lottery, and they've all got some sort of trap underneath them. But I bet one of them is actually a secret passage to something, and that's all I've
Brilliant.
I
got.
think
I-
you may be confusing the wolves with the settlers. I don't necessarily think they're the same thing.
Okay, fair. The important thing is that all of these coffins have some sort of mechanism under them.
they do.
Every single one.
Yes, for your investigation, yes, all of them have some sort of mechanism that would do something. You're not entirely sure what, but if you were to do something in the wrong way, or if you were to, probably linked to either opening the coffins or something else, it would set off some form of trap. With your natural 20, that's what you would get.
Right. So what I'm learning is that we cannot open the coffins.
Yeah,
And
I
think that's
agree.
So I think maybe we just take all the gold and leave.
No.
As you
Set it off.
as you're actually doing your looking around, there are some very nice things. As you're looking through,
there's a statue of a dog here. It's really nice.
there's you see some in one of the piles you see like a pair of stones with faces on them. You see like a golden like device. It looks so it was like almost like a medallion, but like with a very like a scarab-like motif on it. What on one of them?
I would like to pick up the face rock.
You like to pick up a face rock? Okay.
Yes.
You pick
Just
up
both of them. How big are they?
The face rocks, they're about as the size of the palm of your hand, and they've got
little fellows.
they've got like faces on them, with sort of like open mouths as if they're in a talking motif.
Oh! Hey, I would like to hold one up to my ear and speak into the other one and go, hello.
Okay, you hold one up to your ear and speak into the other one. And okay. Yeah, while you do that, you speak a message into the stone, and immediately your voice comes out the other one.
I knew it. These are walkie-talkies. I don't remember what the actual name of them is, but
Only
I've seen these.
shouties.
Shouties, yes. We had them for a mission one time,
Lee-Mac.
and I had to give them back afterwards. Yes, they're. Oh my goodness, these are good. Okay, so one of us can have one of us can have the other. We can have a secret code. We can talk to each other when the other one's not there. It's great. I'm taking these.
Do you take the stones? You take the stones?
I look at Ayla.
I don't think we should.
I put the stones back, and I wait for Ayla to turn around so that I can pick them back up again and put them in my pocket.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Yes. Ooh. Oh no, it's really bad. It's not too bad. 13.
13. But just remind the stream what your passive perception is, Ayla.
9.
Oh yeah.
You successfully pocket the sending stones.
I see it happen.
You would see it happen.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Phil,
Yes.
how do you spell a fire?
Orfeo, a feo.
Trying to look at the names and see if there's any significance there.
There doesn't appear to be as you look at them. The only thing you can
No.
find is family
I-
resemblance.
I'm certain there's a reason we've been brought here, but I
I
can't for the
am
life
going
of me
to
think what it is.
humbly
And I'm
suggest
certain
that
it's
the
not to
reason we've
pilfer the
been
place.
sent here is to take this stuff, and I'm going to have a look at this medallion.
You look at the medallion. It's a beautiful gold medallion. Looks like it's worth a lot. It's
But
got
there's a lot of traps.
It's got a scarab motif on it, and it's it screams wealth.
No, it's temptation. This is temptation.
And
I'm
looking
not
at
gonna
the
take.
other
Okay.
piles with the magical glows to them, I would have made a point of going over to them while I was inspecting them, so Sal would actually know where. Because I would have said that there's magical glows here, as well as
Okay.
on the coffins when I was looking at that. So Sal would have that information.
Are you having a
Is
look
this
through
glowing?
specifically as well? Are you having a look, Grinks, at some of the things?
Oh hell no! No, I just pointed the shit out. I'm.
Okay.
I'm.
Oh,
You-
well,
you-
if
you-
you
Stupid enough to
expected me to
desecrate
ignore
one
you
of-
pointing at things, you...
One of
Okay,
the
what are
items.
you doing here? I'm a rogue.
One of the
I'm
items
aware.
that is pointed out to you looks. It's another. It's like a stone in the shape of a cat's head with glowing emerald green eyes.
Oh, look. I sort of hold it up so that Raljin can see it, and I kind of like wiggle my hand so it looks like the cat's like wiggling its head. That's our leg.
Right, I'm gonna have a look down that corridor,
Oh yes,
Wait,
please.
there's a. Hang on.
Phil.
Wait, was there actually a corridor out of here? Though?
There is a corridor
Yeah.
heading northwards. You.
Oh, I assumed that this was
Oh,
dead
no,
end.
there's a corridor, and you're going to be left alone in a room full of treasure with magical items that has been pointed out to you.
Oh.
I trust the thorn cellar. I'm gonna leave the thorn cellar.
Yeah. You
Right,
guys,
I'm gonna have a look down the corridor, Phil.
go ahead.
Okay. So you walk down the corridor and you walk further into.
Stealthily.
Yeah. Give me a stealth roll.
Oh, for goodness sake. It's a 9, but I had
7. So 16.
7, so it's a 16.
That's pretty good. You walk further down the corridor to when you get to the end, about 30 feet down, well away from all of your party members. You get sort of like a T-junction. To the left, there is another sort of like another door, but it's almost like a caged door. Within it, you look in, sort of like a barred door, and you look sort of like within there is a chest in the center of this room, with a slight glow around the bottom of it.
Is there any writing?
You'd have to give me an investigation check.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, 17.
17. Okay, give me a second. So, okay.
It's actually an 18 because I have a +1.
You have a +1. Okay. On the box, there is writing that you can't decipher. It's a version of Common that you just cannot read. It's an ancient language. However, you do see on there the name that you've heard being said to you, Saiko, written on there. It's Saiko and then a load of gibberish that you cannot understand.
And this is a chest.
This is on the chest behind a barred door. So the barred door is locked, but you can see this chest in the center of this room.
Okay.
I'm going to look for a
Ayla.
way of opening it.
Ayla,
Yeah,
try saying the word.
yeah.
Try saying the word out loud now.
Okay. I'm going to say the word out loud. Psycho, whatever it is.
Okay, you say Saika. And as you say the word Saika, rather than what you expect to happen, which I'm assuming would be for the door to open, you hear a low, growling noise
Oh, okay.
coming from behind you.
Okay.
You turn around towards the sound of the growling noise, into the distance, down the corridor where your dark vision can't seem to pierce. And Raljin, you're there as well. You both turn, and you see a huge pair of eyes staring at you from the darkness. Bronze, glimmering eyes.
Cool.
And a warm breath, almost sort of like just coming down the corridor, and you can feel this warm breath sort of like hitting you from down the corridor.
Okay, I'm going to take a
you-
defensive passive posture.
You hear a voice. The voice comes from out the darkness. She led you here. What makes you think you are worthy? You hear and see a huge brown paw hit the ground out of the darkness. And then a huge wolf begins to charge at you from down the corridor. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. You've got Saika coming towards you from down there, from in this temple. The Tomb of Saika is where you are at the moment. And we'll end tonight's session there. I'm looking forward to next week to seeing how this goes. So you've got a huge ass brown wolf about to chomp into you. So we'll.
Is it definitely going to attack?
Well, we'll find out next week.
You know, is it? Because I'm a warrior, I can tell when something's attacking me. Because he asked me a question, I was about to answer the question, and it's charging me.
Felt rhetorical. But anyway, we'll find out next week what happens in the Tomb of Saika. Looking forward to that. I hope you enjoyed tonight's session, guys. It's nice to see our regular viewers. Thank you, Domesticated Moss, for sticking around, if you are sticking around, for being there and watching our session tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. And I've really enjoyed tonight's session. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week. And I think Jay, I think you'll really like this little part of the story because
I already posted stuff in Pinterest.
Because you've actually you obviously know a little bit about this out of character, don't you? So
in character I know knack all.
In character you know knack all, but out of character you know a little bit about what's going on here. So thank you to our viewers for watching tonight. And I think it's. I mean, if you guys want to stick around and chat for a little bit afterwards, that's great. But time for the stream. We'll call it quits for now, and we'll see you next week. Bye guys. Bye.